Welcome to a Community Partners interview, where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Shane O'Dowd Rutherford, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio, all abilities, all the time. Today, I'm joined by Candace Diep, the Executive Director of Brain Injury Society of Toronto, also known as BIST. BIST believes no one should face the journey of brain injury alone. Their mission is to support acquired brain injury, ABI survivors, and their families through programs, services, and advocacy that empowers them to lead thriving lives. They aim to build a community of hope and resilience that unmasks brain injury, including people with ABI, family members, and people who work in ABI support and rehabilitation, in collaboration with the Ontario Brain Injury Association. Today, BIST is governed by a volunteer board of directors representing community stakeholders, including survivors, providers, educators, and professionals. Thank you for joining us today, Candace.
Thank you for having me, Jane.
Tell us a bit more about yourself and what inspired you to work with BIST and why work with individuals with disabilities.
That's a great question. So I am I've been at this for almost a year now, not quite a year. My background, though, isn't in brain injury. I've had a career working in offices, more operation sides. Uh, but when I saw the posting for this position at BIST, I was really intrigued. And the reason is I have a personal lived experience as a caregiver for somebody with a brain injury. So the mission of BIST really spoke to me. Um, when my mom had her brain injury, I was the one that had to advocate for her and I had to be her main caregiver. And I remember what a challenging journey that was. And I had asked many times what happens when people don't have a Candace at home, what happens to them. And when I saw the posting, I felt really lucky because I felt like this was a good opportunity for me to be that advocate for other people too.
Thank you. While we were doing our research on your website, it shows that you have a couple of programs and services for people and their supporters. Can you tell us a little bit more about your programs and services that you have on offer?
So we have a number of programs and most of our programs are about building community because brain injury can be a really isolating condition, and the ability to have peers, to have community that can help empower you and help elevate you to live a thriving life is really important. So a lot of our programs are things like support group, and we have a women's support group, we have an ABI survivor support group, and we also have a lot of drop-in programs that are about that community building. So we do a lot of art-based recreation, which is really great. We recently did an expressive art show that featured a lot of our member artists. And we do a number of workshops. So a lot of our members will have topics that they're interested in learning about, that is related to the recovery or related to life after brain injury. And so we do lots of workshops on those as well.
I know we just missed the art show. Can you tell us a bit more about what goes on?
So our last art show was at Cedar Ridge in Scarborough. It's a beautiful location. We had over 50 artists exhibit. This year's theme was Brain Odyssey, a journey through healing. So most of our artists provided us with artwork that really explored their journey, and was a great opportunity for some of our artists to sell some of their work and to debut some of their work, which was really neat. We also had a group exhibit, which was Come Fly With Me, which was bird based. And there's a lot of symbolism between birds and the recovery journey for our members. So it's the second year in a row that we've had a group exhibit that featured birds, which was really neat.
Are the artists people with brain injuries?
Yeah, so all of our artists are people with brain injuries. A lot of our artists are professional artists, and that's what they do for a living. But we also have a lot of amateur artists that do art as part of their recreational therapy. So we are lucky that we have so many very talented members that were able to contribute to our art exhibit.
Okay, so that works alongside some of the resources that you have to offer. So is art therapy part of the resources you make available?
Are there? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
Is art therapy part of what you make available?
Oh, yeah, through our programming. Yeah, we actually have this great program on Friday afternoons, and it's called Freaky Friday, and we do all kinds of art that can be just a chance to get together with other people and work on something, but is also, I from what our members tell us is really helps with their healing process, and it has been a really good place to be mindful about something else, and it's been an important part of the recovery.
Excellent. Are there other programs and services that are available?
Yeah, actually, we also provide some of our members with assistance with functional tasks. Um, so BIST is a bit unique in that we don't get any funding from the government from any government agencies. We're run completely on donations and sponsorships. So what that also means is we don't require any medical evidence of a brain injury. So a lot of our members don't qualify for support through other agencies, and they still need help with things like filling out forms or organizing paperwork. So we have the ability to help with specific tasks like that with functional tasks. And that is another resource that we provide members with.
That exceptional. Your website also has a tab called News and Stories, and I saw that there's also a blog and something called Faces of Brain Injury. Can you tell us a little bit more about the blog and the Faces of Brain Injury?
Oh, yeah, sure. So we have a blog and we invite members or anybody in the community to write articles for those. So we're pretty open to different topics and different writers. And we like to feature members as often as we can. It's a great opportunity, again, for them to express themselves. Everybody expresses themselves in different ways, and we have had members that have found it very cathartic to write. The Faces of Brain Injury was part of a project that we did about unmasking brain injury. Brain injury is a very often a hidden disability, so people don't often think of it as a disability when they meet people, but it does affect people's lives. So the Faces of Brain Injury was part of the project to get let people have a glimpse of people with brain injury and the that they are actually people, right? They are normal people, but they are just recovering from a brain injury or living with a brain injury, and it helped to sort of open up doors for some of our members.
Definitely. So it's working through lived experience, so other people can relate more to, as you refer to, sometimes a non-visible disability.
That's right.
And with the services that BIST offers, are there restrictions based around age or caregiver status, family members only, things of that nature?
Not not that many restrictions. The one restriction, because we're not a clinical office, the one restriction is you do have to be able to um, be independent. We don't exactly have staff that can assist with a lot of tasks, so that is the only requirement. We invite really anybody that has a brain injury or identifies as having brain injury, as a caregiver for somebody with a brain injury, to come visit us and be part of our community.
Excellent. So when it comes to assigning supports or resources, what's the process for determining what supports or resources are required?
Well, this has been around for a really long time, so there's quite a lot of experience within our organization, and the network that is available to people with brain injuries. I mean, because we've been around for so long, we have relationships with a lot of the other community organizations. So we try to refer when we can, and we try to lean on our friends when we're able to as well. But overall, I think that in terms of like how we distribute the resources to our members, we don't currently have a wait list. So it's really if we have a warm line, people call in, and if they have a problem that they need help with, we try to assign somebody to help them with that problem with whatever functional tasks that they're looking to uh, to tackle.
That's great. Without using any names, can you share a success story with me? Like what supports were put in place when someone asked for help?
So there's a number of different examples for that. There's some of the more basic needs types of help that we've been able to help people with, like helping them find housing. And we live in Toronto where affordable housing is a real serious issue. And for somebody that has a brain injury, being able to gather all the documentation to be able to find suitable locations, find suitable rentals. It's a lot of work. So we've been able to help some people with that task and get them into a place that's suitable. For those types of things that are fundamental to living, we've been able to help people with. We had a homeless prevention program a couple of years ago, and that was part of the mandate there. But we also do a lot of things, where we have people that come in with a brain injury, and when they when they have when they have a brain injury, they don't really know what to do, and nobody can really understand what they're going through. And the ability to come to a place like this, where they have peers and they have people that will just listen to them, that understand that maybe what they're saying, maybe they're rambling on for a while, or maybe they're fixated on a certain topic. People outside of the community might not understand that and might have issue with it, but being able to be among peers that can understand and that are willing to listen and can relate has made a really big difference in their reintegration into life after an injury. And I think that's been the most important and moving part of the work that we do.
Definitely, and I think, having any type of injury, is disorienting, and then moving beyond, say, for example, a medical facility back into community, navigating that is challenging, not even just for, say, someone with a brain injury, but for family and others that are trying to support people transitioning.
For sure, yeah. If you're lucky enough to have a caregiver, that's great. But even with a caregiver, it's such a complicated system for anybody to navigate. So we're really happy and lucky that we have such a great community that supports people coming out of hospital and returning back to the community.
Definitely. Have you noticed, that there are situations or scenarios that are happening over and over again to individuals with disabilities and brain injury that shouldn't be happening?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a statistic that gets used pretty often, and it's that about 80% of the unhoused population have a brain injury. So we're definitely overrepresented there, and it's so detrimental to recovery if you are dealing with basic needs. So that is something that is concerning.
What steps do you think that we can take to prevent this?
That's a great question, and I wish I had all the answers, but I obviously don't. But I think a lot of it is systematic, and we really need to provide more support to people so that they can get out of those situations. It is really difficult um, to deal with a lot of those issues when you have a brain injury because it's exhausting. It's exhausting for anybody, and for people with brain injuries, having to rethink their way through a lot of these processes can be really daunting. So it's important to be able to put supports into place to support them.
But with our support networks, being social workers and other people of that ilk, do you really feel that they are trained enough to be able to help people with brain injuries navigate through their programs?
Um, I I do think that for sure there are some, and actually one of the things that we do at BIST is we take on placement students that are doing social work degrees, specifically because we would love for more social workers to really understand the nuances of working with people with brain injuries.
This is interesting because the statistic you mentioned was about 90% of people that are experiencing homelessness may have a form of brain injury, whereas the general perception is it's a lot of people that have mental health or even addiction issues.
Yeah, yeah, and and the thing, and another thing about addiction is there is a lot of brain injuries that are sustained because of substance abuse issues, right? So that's another aspect of it.
Would you also agree that aging and expressions such as like Alzheimer's and dementia, like these are impactful as well?
Yeah, definitely impactful as well. Yeah, and that's a another issue altogether, um, because of the way that they're handled within our system and the resources that are available.
Definitely. I'm going to move over again to some of the events that you have. Um, do you have any upcoming events?
We actually do have one coming up in August that I'm super excited about. We have a comedy fundraiser. It's our very first, and I'm super excited. It's August 19th at the Comedy Bar on Danforth. And what I'm super excited about is we have a lineup of comedians doing it, but we also have members that will be doing stand up as well, which is really exciting to me. It's a great opportunity for them to share their story in a fun and different way. And um, they're super excited about it. So I really hope that we'll be able to draw in more people to join us for that event.
Is this the first year or is it a repeat?
It's her first year doing it.
So this is exciting.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I believe, do you have other fundraising events coming up as well?
We have a we actually last month June was Brain Injury Awareness Month, so we did a number of fundraisers during that period. But our next fundraiser would be in October. We have a Halloween themed fundraiser coming up.
Tell me more about that.
It's still in the works, but I think it's more of a social gathering that happens to be around Halloween. Few of our community members really love Halloween and the aspect of dressing up and just be and all the decorations and everything. So it was something that they wanted to do, and so yeah, we're leading with it. I think it'll be a fun event.
Sounds exciting.
We're still
Now,
fleshing out the details, though.
yeah. So if there's one thing everyone needs to know about this, what would you want to say?
I would love people to know that we're around. So I we're a really small nonprofit, and we really welcome anybody. And it is a part of, uh, and we're really lucky to have such great members that support each other. But yeah, just to know that we're around. I think that a lot of people don't know about this, and that our services are pretty much free, and it's a great place to really meet other people that have similar lived experiences.
Definitely, because navigating without support and guidance, it really can be complicated, and probably at the worst possible time when
For
trying to
sure.
adjust and to adapt to a new reality and move towards recovery. And so those supports are vital. Uh, so If somebody wanted to become a member of BIST or volunteer with the organization, what's the process for joining as a member or a volunteer?
Both would be sort of through our website. We have a link to purchase membership. It's a $5 membership. And for volunteers, we would invite them to email us, let us know what kind of volunteer work they want to do. We'd be happy to have them on board and to have them join our group of volunteers, our team of volunteers.
Thank you. And if listeners are looking for more information, how can they reach out to you?
They can visit our website. It's bist.ca. And we have our general mailbox info at bist.ca is a great place to start.
And from there on, they work through something of an intake process?
Yeah, yeah. So for volunteers, yeah, we would have an intake process. We would have an opportunity to chat and figure out what it was that the volunteer wants to do, if they want to support programs. We have a great peer support program as well. And we're always looking for mentors, people that have lived experience either as a caregiver or with a brain injury to pair one on one with mentees. And that's a program that's run across the province. So, yeah, finding out we have a fundraising committee. So, depending on what kind of volunteer work somebody wants to do, we figure that out and match them with an opportunity.
The mentoring is more of a one-on-one scenario versus the support groups, which is a number of people working together?
Yeah, so we have both. So we have support groups that are facilitator led, and then we also have one-on-one peer mentoring, which is usually about a 1 hour touch per week between a mentor and a mentee. It's a bit of a long process because once you get involved with the peer support, we have to match you with the right person, right? Somebody that has similar background or similar experiences. So it is a little bit of a process, but it's an amazing program.
Excellent. Now, we did speak about homelessness, but there's also a violence impact program. Can you elaborate just a bit on that, please?
Yeah. So unfortunately, we see a lot more people that acquire brain injuries as victims of intimate partner violence. Um, and so BIST has been involved with a couple of research projects and a couple of other projects to help people coming out of those situations. And it's quite challenging in that for a lot of these people, um, they don't always seek medical assistance. So even though they may have a lot of the symptoms and problems that people with brain injuries have, they, because of their situation, have never gotten the documentation or the imaging to access the publicly funded support, but they're still dealing with the issues. And uh, so that is a program that we also ran a couple of years ago. We were able to get funding to bring on um, coordinators that were able to reach out to people in these situations to help them navigate the system. And it's unfortunate that we continue to see so many victims of IPV.
Well, especially with homelessness today, the streets are not, a place that are safe or secure for anyone.
Yeah, for sure. It terrible situation, and there are no easy answers, but it is a lot easier to try to navigate the system when you have some support. And unfortunately, a lot of people living in these situations don't have support that they should have.
And and that's where BIS comes in, providing the supports that are so desperately needed.
Yes, exactly.
So before we close, Candace, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Um, I mean, I feel like this conversation ended with a bit on a sadder note, but there are so many members that thrive. You know, BIST has incredible people in our community, and brain injury is something that people recover from, that they can continue to live incredible lives with a brain injury, that they have amazing abilities and they are wonderful people. So, despite the horrible ways that sometimes these things happen, um, there is still a lot of positivity within our organization because we have such great members.
Excellent. Well, Candace, thank you again for sharing your insights and for the incredible work this does in our community. For our listeners, if you or someone you know has been impacted by brain injury, you're not alone. And BIST is here to help. You've been listening to Voices for Ability Radio. Until next time, stay informed and stay empowered.